Hello everybody, Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas. I got a video you're going to find real interesting today, and I think I'm going to name it Imagine Your Neighbor Putting a Tunnel Under Your Home. It looks like that's what happened at my home. I'm going to show you the evidence of that. I think it is really, really amazing, definitely worthy of investigation by legitimate law enforcement if that can be found. Okay, this is my Facebook post and I've laid it out here. This was the top comment. I believe that most of the people in the attic homes have a tunnel coming from a neighbor's house. Okay, and that's what this is talking about. Okay, so my first comment under this here with the picture here, it says, about a week before the premeditated, cold-blooded murder attempt on my life, where a group of criminals cut my phone lines and shot me by surprise, I climbed onto my roof and I saw what looked like a tunnel entrance in the backyard of my next door neighbor. After surviving the murder attempt, I found these Google Map pictures, which I posted online, and that was when this suspected tunnel entrance was removed or moved somewhere else. I believe that most all of the rigged homes has a tunnel coming from a neighbor's home, as that is the closest path. Imagine your neighbor putting in a tunnel to your home so they could steal and kill. Okay, and I'm going to show you here these pictures. These were from older Google Maps, and we'll look at the one on the left first here. It's dated 4/28/16. Now remember, I'm ambushed and shot on January 28, 2012. This is my home right here. This is my backyard. This is the fence that separates it. Okay, this is the neighbor's home. I climbed on my roof here, and when I did, I saw in this backyard what looked like a tunnel entrance, a suspected tunnel entrance. Here's a close-up picture of it right here. That's what it looked like. And these boards were stacked up against that shed there, and you couldn't see it from the ground. Okay, it blocked my view from the ground. But once I got on my roof, I could see it, and that was like a week before the murder attempt. I saw it because they were getting in my house and I couldn't figure out how they were getting in my house. The ex-wife had already suggested that there was a tunnel here. Okay, and so I want to show you them pictures. Okay, here we go. These pictures here, this is the next comment, were found on Google Earth, and you can go look them up yourself right now. And they show me the time frame for when the suspected tunnel entrance was installed in the next door neighbor's backyard and the time frame for when it was removed. As seen in the top two pictures, the suspected tunnel entrance in the next door neighbor's backyard was installed somewhere between 3/31/08 and December 5th, 2009. The young previous owner, Mike Lawhon, of my house, died on October 12th, 2008, which was during this time, and I moved in right after that. A former neighbor, Marilyn DeLuigi, told me twice that Mike died in this house, but his death certificate says he died in Fort Worth. The Odessa American posted a death notice for Mike saying he died in Fort Worth, but then 4 days later they posted a second revised death notice and changed the location of death to say he died at his residence, confirming what the neighbor had told me. I suspect that Mike was killed here and then taken to Fort Worth, since the oil show parties were starting in the underground home in the backyard the next week, the following week. Okay. The question is, was that the tunnel entrance? Was this tunnel installed before Mike died, and was it connected to his suspected murder? Because what I'm saying is, that's by the time frame during the time that tunnel entrance looks like it was put in was when Mike Lawhon died. And I'm wondering, was it put in before he died or after he died? Was it, was it used to murder him? There are a lot of questions about that. After Mike died, I transferred into Midland from Hobbs with hope and excitement, and I spent my life savings on the American dream, my home, without knowing it had been rigged with hidden underground access and was being used for crimes such as burglary, theft, and murder. An unimaginable nightmare that seems to have no end, where evidence and proof mean nothing. As seen in the bottom two pictures, this suspected tunnel entrance was removed sometime between October 2nd, 2014 and 4/28/16. I had survived the murder attempt on January 28, 2012, and then started finding evidence such as pictures of the secret police who didn't get identified until 2018. I also found pictures on Google Maps, which I was posting online. During this same time frame, the live tree behind the Home Depot store and next to another suspected tunnel entrance was removed. It looks like a cover-up was going on. Aaron Packelhofer told me that 4 people had been murdered, died in my home, and there's absolute proof that somebody under my home cut my phone lines and shot me. So I'm going to show you the pictures I was referenced. The reason I have these dates on there, because when the satellite flies over a plane or whatever for Google Earth, it takes that snapshot. So that's the picture. That's why it's a dated picture. So all I know is between these 2 dates, this was put in the backyard of that house. You can see it right there. There's the suspected tunnel entrance in the neighbor's backyard. So it was there on that day, and it wasn't there on that day. And in between these 2 days, Mike Lawhon died, the previous owner of my home, and it looks like he was, he died here in Midland. The neighbor told me twice he died in this house, and that seemed to be confirmed by the Odessa American. Okay, and so as I was saying, I wonder if when that tunnel was put in, was it put in after he died, before he died? Was it used to murder him? You see that? Now did the neighbor want to do a takeover? Who knows? And there's just a lot of questions here. And we're not making any accusation, just asking questions, because we have several alleged murders there, plus the proven premeditated murder attempt on my life. The bottom 2 pictures from Google Earth, they're dated as well. They're dated here on October 2014 and April 2016. So they're within that time frame. The tunnel entrance is there. The tunnel entrance is gone right here. Okay, so we know during that time frame it was gone, and during that time frame was when I was finding pictures online and posting on my Facebook, and they took it out. That's the whole point I'm making. At the same time, notice this live tree got removed right here, because that was another suspected tunnel entrance where there was 2 side-by-side manholes over there. I was also taking pictures of that and posting that online. Okay, about 2 years after the murder attempt, my attorney subpoenaed all police records, and I saw this report from Detective Rosie Rodriguez where she said that she talked to this same next-door neighbor, and he said that he believed I was slashing the tires on his son's vehicle that was parked in front of my home. This was a lie, as I've never slashed a tire in my life, and besides that, the front of my home was watched by my security cameras that I had installed due to the repeated crimes here. It saw Woodward and Naylor, remember? My guess is there was no slashed tire at all, and this was a lie to smear my name and help cover up the failed murder attempt on my life. I've now found evidence which I believe shows that Detective Rosie Rodriguez tampered with evidence, falsified police reports, and perjured herself in court. I heard she was off work right now, and I wonder if she wasn't being investigated for these crimes and murders. I wondered if she was friends with this neighbor who I suspected had a tunnel to my home, okay? And I'm going to show you this. I found this 2 years later in the police reports that I got by Detective Rosie Rodriguez. Dirty, dirty, dirty cop, okay? And I contacted and spoke with Buddy Webb's neighbor, okay? Here, his oldest teenage son parked his vehicle on his property next to Buddy Webb's residence. In the morning, his car tires were slashed. I told his son to begin to park on the other side, and his tires were no longer slashed. They believe it was Buddy. That's like bullshit. I didn't even know about that. That was a lie, slander, behind my back crap put in the police reports. And I had my front of my home was watched by security cameras. It was a lie. It was bullshit. It was falsifying a police report. What it was, and Rosie Rodriguez would know that. I think it was on purpose to smear my name, help cover up the murder attempt that she was involved in. Okay, and you can also see here she tried to have me committed personally herself, even though I was cleared by the doctors at the hospital by mental health. The life-destroying lies. Okay. As seen here, multiple people are documented saying that underground homes are here, and Google Maps was showing a large bunker in my backyard, which is very close to where the suspected tunnel entrance is, and the neighbor's backyard was located. This is where it's believed the oil show parties were held, and where a young girl was murdered at in October 2010. I talk about it all the time. Maybe the tunnel in the neighbor's backyard only connected to the underground home, and the tunnel going under my home was already installed. I was told that this $7.35 million safe house project was finished in 1987. This is my main picture I use all the time. It's a Google Earth picture. It's showing the ditch here coming from the back of Home Depot. You see where the ground's cut, aimed directly at my house. I believe that was the people going to the oil show parties use that. They were parking Home Depot. They were using that tunnel right there. And it got filled with concrete after I showed Homeland in 2019. Here's showing the, Google Maps showing where if you went to the, put my address in, you see this bunker in the backyard on the map screen, but you didn't see it from above ground. That's now removed. Once I notified the city of Midland that there's supporting evidence on Google Maps and it had been there for 10 years, it gets deleted, and then I sincerely think the city of Midland, people with the city of Midland have been trying to cover up these crimes and murders, obviously, okay? I circled here. Here's the suspected tunnel entrance, now removed. And in the backyard is right here. So we're showing that's where it's believed one of the 4 underground homes are. This is a list of the many people documented saying that tunnels, underground homes are here. One of them was a guy running for sheriff. I secretly recorded a guy running for sheriff telling me their last sheriff used to hang up down here. Another woman said she worked on this project. She named the company she worked for, named what the budget was, said it was put in for Bush, named when. I mean, we're talking about all these details. There's another woman called me. She tells me it's 3-bedroom homes, buried at least 25 foot deep, each costing over $1 million. Said they were having pedophile parties down there. Once again, more details from different people, all the same thing, okay, obviously. And then here, after I'm ambushed and shot, proof was found that police were under my home. I believe that, where'd they come from? They come from this tunnel right here. They were probably in this underground home right here. But what we know is they didn't come from the door, okay, because that's the whole point that the camera's watching the door, And then, there's other evidence there, but I want to show you that, okay? The other thing is how close this is, okay? So what I was saying here is maybe the tunnel was put in from here to here, and the tunnel from here to under my house was already there, okay? You see what I'm saying? And let's just brainstorm it. What if this guy says, hey, this is a moneymaker, I want to take over this, so he digs a tunnel over here, kills this guy, and then the next unsuspecting homeowner, he moves in, I don't know no difference, and now this guy's got control of the underground home in the backyard. I don't know that, but, I'm just going, I wonder if maybe that's what's happening, Next to the suspected tunnel entrance in my neighbor's backyard is a water well, and I've wondered if this well supplied water to the underground home in my backyard, okay? And I want to show you that this right here on this map, that's a water well right here. That's where the tunnel entrance was. It's gone in this picture, and that's where the suspected underground home is in my backyard. That's real important, and there's that water well, because I believe that's a clue to finding the other. I was told there were 4 3-bedroom homes. That's a clue to finding the other ones. I'm going to show you on this next map. I was told there were 4 3-bedroom, $1 million underground homes, and obviously one of them is in my backyard. But where are the other 3? I found 2 other nearby homes which had a water well and had the same weird mortar problem that my home had. I believe the mortar problem comes from digging under the home because the foundation settles, it breaks the mortar joints, okay? So here's the big picture from Google Earth, and here's my home right here. Here's Home Depot, okay? Here's the neighbor's home. This is where the tunnel entrance was. In the backyard's where one of them, and there's where that one water well is. I got a picture of it, okay? So there's one water well, and my home has this weird mortar problem, believed from digging in the home. Well, Rhonda Denman Rogers told me that there's an underground facility half a block away, and half block away is over here, and there's an empty lot, there's a water well, and here's another home, and it had the same mortar problem my home had. So I've suspected maybe one of the underground homes is there, okay? And then over here by the church, by the Fairmont Park Church of Christ, was another home. You'll see it 38 in Fair Green, has a water well, had the same mortar problem as my home and this home had, okay? And so I'm looking, I'm thinking, I was told there were 4, that might be 3 of the 4 underground homes. And maybe that little girl still about being murdered at those parties. Maybe she wasn't murdered in the underground home in my backyard. Maybe she's murdered in the underground home over here, I don't know that, but all important stuff. Okay, and then I started getting comments from Christine. I think I'm going to skip most of that because what she wanted to do is, I want to come to your house and find evidence, and like, no, we're not, this ain't going to be vigilante justice. We're not playing Rambo, and there's plenty of evidence. This is law enforcement, and then I had to explain to her that these crimes are going on all over the country, okay? This is a nationwide and crime ring, absolutely, with all these homes identified. It's not just one home, one burglar. It is many homes. This is big. Okay, and there was 11 police caught on camera in my home after the murder attempt. Took 6 years, $2,000 reward to get identified. They were caught tampering with the evidence, staging the crime scene of this premeditated murder attempt. We now have proof police were under my home. So it's not just Buddy up against the burglar breaking in his house. Okay, let's take a shovel and take a shovel. We're gonna end this thing. Let's be over. This is a nationwide crime ring, and they're protected by at least a dozen police, and they have the press in America, helping them hide the evidence from the public so they can commit these crimes and murders. That's really, I mean, that's calling it like it is. And as I finally told Christine, no, I'm not letting people come to my house. I want law enforcement. There's plenty of evidence. I mean, what do we need? Another 50 homeowners before they figure it out? Is that enough solid proof for you? 50 homeowners reporting people in the attic, 100 videos, burglar alarms going off. You know, there's all kinds of evidence. Proof that of a murder attempt, that I wasn't shot with my gun. So I'm going to go on to the next one. In 2016, my dog alerted me to a noise coming from under the ground next to my shed in my backyard, which is only a few feet from the suspected tunnel entrance that was located in the neighbor's backyard. Caught Digging is a video I have, and it's up here. I've got it ready, just a little clip here, and I'm gonna be quiet so we can hear that. But basically, my dog was alerted me, was barking, at the ground, and I go over there and I listen, and I can hear something coming from under the ground, and so I get my camera out and I record it, and that's what you hear in this. There's literally noise coming from under the ground, and this shed you're going to see in a minute is right there next to where that suspected tunnel entrance was in the neighbor's backyard. Okay, here we go. Boom. 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 Here. Okay. I'm gonna show you here because I think I got the next one here. The digging noise was coming from the corner of my shed, which is next to the neighbor's fence. About 10 foot east is where the suspected tunnel entrance was located in the neighbor's backyard. And 10 foot west is where it's believed an underground home is located. I'm going to show you another Google map, okay? Once again, here's my home, okay? And here's the Home Depot store. There's suspected tunnel entrance there used for the wholesale parties. The underground home in the backyard here. But here's the shed in the corner. And I was at this corner of the shed next to the fence. This is the suspected tunnel entrance. So that's how close that was. That's where the digging noise I recorded coming from the ground that my dog alerted me on. And then just right next to it's where it's believed the underground home is located. Okay? And so I wanted to show y'all that. Okay. In 2020, the same neighbor that lives in that house started yelling at me from his backyard, so I made a video of it, okay? Harassed by the neighbor, and I posted that. And I've also got this going, and I'll let you listen to this here. Extremely rude. My backyard? You don't want me in my own backyard? What are you saying? My blood pressure medicine? My blood pressure medicine? Huh? What is that, a slander? Really? Oh, is that right? Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Really? Really? Oh, okay. Uh-huh. Hey, what do you know about these what do you know about these murders? Huh? You know anything about these murders? Huh? Do you know anything about the murder attempt on my life? Do you know anything? The evidence shows that I didn't. The pellets removed from my foot were 2.5 sizes different than what was in my gun. 2.5 sizes different. Yeah. Why are you harassing me in my own yard? I'm the victim of a capital crime. You understand I'm the victim of a capital crime. I'm out here minding my own business. You come over here and started mouthing off to me. Okay, so I want to show you that. This is the neighbor that has a suspected tunnel entrance in the backyard right there, okay? Here's Christina again on wanting to come to my house. This guy was a little interested. Another comment. Attic home. Well, so we need unchanged blueprints to even know these rooms exist. Why would the builders build these, and did the neighbors at one time build it? Okay, so then there's questions, and I did a reply, and I think this is kind of important here. Okay, I said, Brian, there are a lot of things still unknown since there's been no arrest made, but I do know this home was built in 1982 by Tabor Construction, and I was told the underground safe house project was completed in 1987. Of course, this is just one home, as I've now documented over 50 other homeowners reporting people in the attic since I was ambushed and shot with burglar alarms going in my attic. People want to focus on my home, and I always want to go, no, we're talking about a whole bunch of homes, okay? I mean, this is nationwide racketeering organized crime. This ain't one burglar. This is a crime ring. That includes a dozen addresses in Midland and another dozen in Odessa I'm going to show you in a minute. Obviously, there are many more of these rigged homes that I don't know about. I've also made around 100 videos of burglar alarms going off and proved they were hacking the security cameras, which is proof in itself. I saw a young Hispanic guy in my attic one day. I was shot with burglar alarms going off. It's not a what if, could be. I mean, it's an absolute fact. I believe we'll find a tunnel that leads up a wall which has enough crawl space for a person and a hidden trapdoor into the attic. This allows the home intruder to come and go all they want without being seen. They then steal heating, cooling, and electricity from the homeowner, so it's rent-free living. As I said in other videos, find the wall and you find the tunnel. No digging needed. The problem is this gang of criminals is backed up by at least a dozen police who work with them to murder the homeowners and a press that hides the crimes and murders from the public. Make no mistake, these are cold-blooded killers that will cut your phone lines and shoot you while you're not looking. That is why I want legitimate police to stop this national crime ring. That's why we ain't, grabbing beer and coming to Buddy's house, right, with guns. That ain't gonna happen. With rent and utilities running around $2,000 a month, then this makes a human trafficker a lot of money. If they rig 10 homes, that saves them $20,000 a month. If they rig 100 homes, there's $200,000 a month. And I'm suspecting there might be thousands of these homes. And here are some of the videos showing you what I'm talking about. People in the attic, 2 minutes. That's calls from my police scanner of other homeowners reporting people in the attic in my local area. And then I got 2 videos I think are recent and important. How are they getting into the attic? And I'm in the bottom side of my house showing you how thick the walls are. Find the wall, find the tunnel, okay? And then I'll say, let's go up in the attic, and I'm going to I'll show you some of the construction that you can tell that was done to rig this home, okay? And then that's what I'm showing in them videos, okay? Anybody wants to say, I want to see it, well, there it is. I got a half dozen videos in my attic, but law enforcement is the one that needs to expose these tunnels, the underground homes, the access, and arrest these killers. Somebody tried to murder me. What if there's more than one tunnel or more than one neighbor involved? As I seen in this picture, it looks like a tunnel ditch was cut going from my home to the home across the street at 3803 Fair Circle. That one next door was 3800. This home was owned by Marilyn DeLuigi, the lady that told me twice that Mike Lawhon had died in my house. She also told me that somebody else had died here before Mike did. She told me that her son was really worried about what happened to me, so I suspect he knows something. Before Marilyn lived there, Ken Slager, a commercial director for my company, DCP Midstream, lived there. And keep in mind, DCP Midstream's half owned by ConocoPhillips. So we're talking a major, okay? His group was responsible for our booth at the oil show. Do you think that Ken knew about the $1 million underground homes in my backyard that was used to host parties for the oil show? I think he did. He lived across the street, right? The year before the murder attempt, I reported 5 co-workers to my supervisor, Dane Wiggins, because I believe they knew who was breaking into my home based on things that were said. I paid dearly for that, all the while I was having criminals break into my home. After I survived the murder attempt, my company placed me on long-term disability, even though I had a return-to-work permit, and they laid off all those employees that I had reported. They also laid off Ken Slager. Obviously, the reason those co-workers knew about who was breaking into my home is because they had been to the underground parties and knew this home was rigged. Oil show parties. We're an oil company or gas company. I suspect they also knew there were 4 more people that had been murdered, died in my home, but before my phone lines were cut and I was shot by surprise. That's what I was told. There were 4 people murdered, died in my home. And what I'm saying when I first started is there more than one tunnel, okay? This is the next door neighbor's house where the suspected tunnel entrance is in the backyard. But here I'm showing on the ground, my home is on this way, is this right here, looks like a tunnel ditch was going across the street to this home. And that's the home where Marilyn lived in. Marilyn that told me Mike Lawhon died over here in this home 2 times, told me somebody else died there before him. And then before Marilyn lived there, Ken Slager lived there. He was commercial director for my company, a big shot. He had the booth at the oil show. His group had the booth at the oil show. In my backyard is where they were having the oil show parties in the underground homes. You see the connection there? I think Ken Slager knows something. On another day, I saw the neighbor at 3801 Fair Circle take the fence down, and this is all 2 dump trucks unload dirt in the backyard of this home. 2 full dump trucks of dirt. You know, and I don't see a big pile of dirt back there. I wondered if they were filling in an underground home or tunnel entrance back there. Huge pile of dirt across the street. Okay, this is another home. Okay, this one here, 3800. This is 3801. Okay, so this is the one that has a suspected tunnel entrance in the backyard. This is another one across the street right here. And that's a dump truck. They took the fence down, dumped 2 huge loads of dirt back in that backyard. I wonder if they're filling in, you know, underground home or tunnel or whatever. Maybe there's a tunnel going over there. There used to be. Okay. Another home across the street at 3809 Fair Circle used to be owned by the brother-in-law of U.S. Congressman Mike Conaway. Conaway announced his retirement 2 weeks after I made the video of concrete being poured behind the Home Depot store after showing Homeland Security where I believed the human trafficking murder tunnel was located. When I moved here in 2008, this home was owned by Daniel and Brandy Price. Brandy Merrill Price owned my home and had sold it to Mike and Sarah Lawhon. I have a feeling that she may know something. I wonder if there's a tunnel going over there too. Okay, what I'm going to show you here, here's the guy that lived at 380, what I call it, 3809, okay, Fair Circle, okay, and that's across the street from my house, on down. John Legrand is his name, okay, and he died in 2008, right before he died, the year that I transferred in here, and I saw it. Suzanne Conaway, she's married to the wife of Congressman Mike Conaway, okay, and so he used to live here. Here's from the appraisal district showing he used to own that house, okay, and so you can see John Legrand used to own it there till 2004, and then he died in 2008. It's sold to John David Ward. I don't know anything about him. Ward sells it in 2006 to Daniel Price. Daniel Price was married to Brandy Merrill that used to own my home. You see that connection? Okay, so the Conaway home, that's what I call the Conaway home. The person living in there used to live in my home. I got a feeling Brandy and Daniel Price might know something about that, you know, this home being rigged, okay? And then there's Cody Brindle that buys it, and then now a William Wilson family lives there, Wilson family. What's interesting is one of the siblings of John Legrand was Marcy Wilson. So I wonder if this Wilson here is related to this Wilson here, and if this family is still in the Conaway family, you know? I mean, maybe that's still owned by the Conaway family. You know, that's interesting, right? And so I just want to show you that home right there and how it possibly has a connection. And here's another thing. Behind the Home Depot, and here, that's where I showed you before. That's where it looks like the tunnel ditch was, cut coming from Home Depot to my house. That's what I showed Homeland on July 2nd, 2019. 2 weeks later, they dug it up and they're pouring concrete. You see the concrete coming off the truck. This video went viral because I showed Homeland where human trafficking. I mean, I wonder if DNA evidence for that murdered girl isn't in that tunnel, and Homeland covered that up, you know. And then look at the date, July 17th, 2019, July 30th, Conaway announces his retirement. And come to find out, his brother-in-law lived across the street from my house. I had personally talked to Conaway. He sent me on a dead end. Had me call the U.S. Inspector General that would never return my call. Okay. Next one. Rhonda Denton Rogers told me that underground facility was a half block away. She didn't say 3/4 of a block or 2.5 blocks. She knew exactly where it was located. I've suspected that was one of the 4 3-bedroom homes that I was told about and may be located in this empty lot around the corner. It has a water well, and my next door neighbor has a water well next to my fence. That home had the same brick mortar problem that my home had, which is believed to be caused by digging under the home. It's owned by a Concho safety guy. Maybe the 4 underground homes are connected with tunnels. This is around the corner from my house on Whittle Way, out of the cul-de-sac. There's 9 homes in my cul-de-sac. You come out of it and around the corner, and there's this empty lot right here, okay? This dead ends in the wall right here because that wall separates Home Depot, the residential, and the commercial, okay? This home here, 3900 Westmont, it's whitewashed to cover up the mortar problem, and they got a water well, and here's the empty lot. I wonder if one of the underground homes there, maybe the parties were going on there too, the oil show parties, in the house of a Concho safety guy. You know, Concho's a big oil company. Okay. This is an older spreadsheet listing some of the homes that I've documented where the owners have reported people in the attic. Rarely a week goes by when I don't hear about another one. I believe that most all of these rigged homes are rigged like this one in Midland, with a tunnel coming from a nearby neighbor's house. For that reason, I always look to see who the next door neighbors of the crime victims are when I'm researching them. Okay, and so that, you know, here. So this before, in the yellow here is the Midland addresses. Most of them come from my police scanner, okay? Keep in mind, I sent an information request to the city of Midland and asked for a list of all the homeowners who reported people in the attic last 10 years, and they told me they had no records of anybody, even me. And I've got all these recorded off my police scanner. I've got the police reports, what I called. They just bold-faced lied, you know? They're hiding it from the public that these crimes are going on all over the place. And anytime any one of these homeowners, they report somebody in their attic, they report one of these felonies, they're called crazy. They have their life destroyed by these corrupt police that are involved in this racketeering and organized crime, because this is burglary, theft, and murders, and probably human trafficking, and maybe sex trafficking, prostitution, blackmail, who knows what else. These are Odessa homes. Once again, I have a lot of them off police scanner. Of course, now they took care of that because they blocked their frequencies, because I was recording them off the police scanner, you know. And I've got stories for almost all of these. And there's Andrews, Austin, Belmead, Carlsbad, okay, Hobbs, okay. It goes from California all the way to Alabama. You know, there's just a whole large number of states, and I believe that's only the tip of the iceberg. You know, this is going on all over the country. I think it's connected to human trafficking. My roofer told me about this home at 2505 Dartmouth because the owners had asked them to go up in their attic and look around because they believed somebody was getting up there. That's a home in Midland. I drove over there and I spoke to the owner, Shirley Gist, who was a nice Christian lady that people were calling crazy. She was relieved when I told her that these same crimes are happening at other homes, and she wasn't crazy at all. Somebody had rigged that home. I looked up the 2 next door neighbors for this home, and I saw that the parents of Curtis Lloyd lived next door. He was the guy that found the remains of Haley Dunn in Scurry County 2 days after I wrote the Department of Justice and suggested they come to my home in Midland and look in the underground homes here. Now there are 10 people documented saying that Haley was killed in Odessa. So it looks like Haley was dug up and moved because of my email to law enforcement. And I suspect that Curtis was somehow chosen to go find the remains. That would make sense if he has a connection to the people in the attic crime ring. Okay, so I just go to the appraisal district. I put in the address and it gives me the name. Monty Gist. That's who lived there. Just like I showed you before, this is the address. And I get the deed history. Who used to live there, all that. We're trying to figure out, and this is the victim's house. Okay, this is where they're reporting people in the attic. Okay, so I look up the 2 neighbors to the house, and that's where I find Terry Lloyd. Okay, and then when I Google Terry Lloyd, I found out he's the father of Curtis Lloyd, the guy that found Haley Dunn's remains 2 days after I wrote the Department of Justice and suggested they come here and look in the underground homes here. Okay, I suspect Curtis grew up in that house. Okay, as seen here, I wrote the DOJ. I think law enforcement should talk to Curtis Lloyd very seriously. Okay, as seen here, I wrote the Department of Justice on March 14, 2013, and the remains of Haley were found on March 16, 2013 by Curtis Lloyd. His parents lived next door to the home on Dartmouth where the owners have been reporting people in the attic. I wonder if he grew up in that house, you know. You know, I'm looking at this, I'm going, hey, I mean, they could charge you with accessory to her murder, to capital murder right there. You sit here and you're trying to lie and scam this whole, move the body and all that crap. And you know, if I was Curtis Lloyd, I'd be whistling. I'd get me a lawyer and I'd say, I want to make a deal. I'm going to tell you everything I know. I'm going to tell you who's behind this crime ring, you know. And so here it is. I have overwhelming evidence to support the allegations of underground facility. Haley Dunn. Maybe she's being held in the underground homes right now, okay? Well, that's all I got. I thought y'all would find that interesting. And I don't think there's no doubt about it at all. You know, the problem is police, is the police corruption. We got to get past it. We got to find real police to stop this nationwide crime ring involved in burglary, theft, and murders. Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas.